Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Anupriya Kapur. A few days back, I had visited Kashmir and I promised on Instagram that I would share everything that I experienced in Kashmir so that you don't make the same mistakes that we did and do the right things that we did. Now, this was my second trip to Kashmir. I had visited Srinagar and Gulmarg a couple of years back. And even then I thought the place is magical, but this time it was just unbelievable. Yes, of course, because of the snow it was all white, but also it was the company I was traveling with and the people that we interacted with, the time we spent with locals. It was surreal. I mean, I cannot explain in words how it felt like to be there. So I would definitely advise you, if you can take out the time and if you can afford to travel to Kashmir, please do. I will start with what we did from day one. So day one in Srinagar, it was a very impromptu trip. Now when you reach the Srinagar airport, you have to get a mandatory COVID rapid test, at least right now. But you know how the rules keep changing, so you can find out on Google. And it was very quick, it did not delay us. It was like, when you're leaving, they were doing the test and they were taking down the numbers. We had booked Rose Petal on reference of a friend. It's in the central Srinagar, very comfortable hotel. If you're traveling in winters, it's very important to find out if the place has heating or not, because it can get really cold and uncomfortable. And Rose Petal turned out to be a very comfortable hotel. We got a great deal there because we knew somebody. I will share the number on the caption as well. We reached in the afternoon, so we headed out directly for lunch at this restaurant called House of Habibi, which is walking distance from Rose Petal. House of Habibi belongs to a friend. The food is very nice, the vibe of the place is very nice, they take really good care of you. You can easily spend an hour or two having your meal there. Post that, because we were losing light, we did not really intend to go around much. So we headed to this market called Polo View Market. Now Polo View Market has loads of stores, and we basically wanted to buy Pherans, and we got really nice ones. Now the budget for Pherans can depend on what you need and what you want to buy. Now you want hand embroidered or machine embroidered. Obviously the hand embroidered ones are way more expensive, but you can get a nice Pherans starting from 1400 to 1500. The coats that I bought, those were expensive because they're layers and there is work all over the coat, and those were around 4 to 5k. Honestly, we did not want to negotiate much as well. Post that, we happened to enter this shop called Salama. It's also on in Polo View Market, and we got talking to the owner there and how it has been for them in the recent past. So we guys got friendly and they were like, why don't you come over for dinner tomorrow? And we were taken aback. Basically I'm from Delhi, a friend is from Kolkata, and another friend is from Bombay. We are not kind of used to this, so we were like, okay, but they were very serious about it and they exchanged our numbers and stuff. I even picked up a couple of stuff from that particular store. I bought a nice Afghani hat as well. And so that was it. We wrapped up and then we headed to this beautiful tea place called Chai Jai. Like I said, it's a tea place and it's just gorgeous. I've rarely seen a prettier cafe than that. They pay so much attention to the aesthetics, so you should definitely go there. You can easily find the location on Google. And after having our kava, we went to this place called Imran's. So we had a choice between Adu's and Imran's. Now Adu's is a very popular restaurant there. I've eaten there before and I'm not a fan of it. But this Imran is like a small hole in the wall kind of a place. It's very popular, and the kebabs and the dips and the roti they serve was really good, totally worth it. Day 2 in Srinagar. Now we woke up very late because we were up chatting till late night, and then we woke up late and got dressed in beautiful Pherans and headed to downtown, which is the old Srinagar. There we went to Khan-e-Maula. It's a beautiful mosque. We just spent some half an hour, 45 minutes soaking in the vibe, post which we went to this small perfumery, which used to be a perfumery, now only sells rose water. It's very pretty, has a very old world charm to it. and we just spent some 10-15 minutes there. And afterwards then we headed to Badi Masjid. That's again a very beautiful mosque. In case you are interested, you should go there and just sit there and feel the vibe. Now my friend arranged haq and harissa for us. Haq is basically a Kashmiri saag, and it's delicious. He made his dadi make it for us. It was really a sumptuous meal. So if you have any Kashmiri contacts, activate them right now. And post which it was getting little dark, so we didn't want to miss the sunset. We headed to the Dal Lake and we took a Shikara. We went to Charchinar and just spent nice 1.5-2 hours looking at the lake, feeling the quietness. It was beautiful. Allah, Allah, and on the way back, obviously, we remembered that we have been invited by a local's family for dinner. And we called them up. We were not certain that they were serious or not. And they're like, yeah, come over, we'll pick you up. And they picked us up. They took us over to their house, and there was a huge meal that they had prepared for us. There was fish, there was biryani, there was rajma, there was pulao, I can't even tell you how well they treated us. We were a bit wary, coming from me from Delhi, somebody's from Bombay, somebody's from Kolkata. We are not used to this. Can't tell you, we got very emotional, almost had tears in our eyes with the way they treated us. The first thing they did was offered us kawa. They made us comfortable, they gave us heaters, they gave us blanket, because it was about -1 degrees at that time. Then we ate with them the way they do in the kitchen, with heated blankets to keep us warm, and so much warmth we felt in that moment. It was beautiful. Day 3 in Kashmir. So in the morning, early morning, we went to vegetable floating market on Dal Lake. किसी के नूर हो गए, किसी के इतने पास हो कि सबसे दूर हो गए. It's an experience itself, because where else do you see people selling and buying vegetables on the Dal Lake, on Shikaras? Definitely go there. The market shuts by 7:38, so try to be there by 6:37 to experience it. The closest jetty from where you can take Shikara is number 14, so you can take a taxi till there and head to the vegetable market on the Shikara. Now you can haggle for the Shikara itself. It could cost you, depending on number of people, anywhere between 2 to 4K. We loved it. It was so quiet, so peaceful. The sounds of the nature as as our Shikara guy was rowing the boat. It was beautiful. I bought quite a few knickknacks from there, because they even sell flowers and seeds and your souvenirs on the lake itself. So definitely go there. You can even have breakfast sitting on the Shikara. It's an experience. Once we were done with that, we planned to move to Gulmarg. So one of the friends left back for Delhi, and another friend from Delhi joined us. We headed to Gulmarg. Now this is where we goofed up big time. Now we didn't realize that Gulmarg is very commercial and that it's Christmas, so it's going to be fully booked. We managed to get a hotel last minute, a hotel called Hotel Sahara, which is as you enter Gulmarg, and it was the biggest mistake because the hotel turned out to be extremely shady. Now we were on a budget trip, so we were not looking at fancy hotels. We were looking at affordable places to stay in. And when I travel, I also live in hostels, so I'm very comfortable with budget places, but this one was just really bad. So we decided not to stay there, and at the last moment, at 4:35 in the evening, in -1 degrees, we were looking for a place to stay because the entire Gulmarg was fully booked because of Christmas. We finally managed to get 2 centrally heated rooms. Um, Unfortunately, I don't remember the name of the hotel or the huts. It's very close to Welcome Hotel. There was no signboard on the hotel. It's fairly new. Unfortunately, I don't know the name. Gulmarg is one place I cannot help you with where to stay. Khyber is on the expensive side, so I think it starts from 15k, 18k. But there is, for a fact I know there is Pike Place or Pine Peak Place, which is supposedly good. Hivan is good. Welcome Hotel is good. And there is one more which I will add in the caption, which is supposed to be good. So basically, the first day in Gulmarg was practically a waste in that sense because we didn't do much. In any case, we then stopped and had a lot of chotu dhaba, so we had some meals. There's one place you can eat which will guarantee decent food. It's called Bakshish. No, it's called Bakshish. Yeah, and you can have your meal there. And then we headed back to the hotel because it got really cold, it got dark, and then we enjoyed in the evening in the room itself. We had a little party to celebrate Christmas. So yeah, this was it. Day 4 in Kashmir. So since we were in Gulmarg, we didn't want to miss out going to the phase 1 and phase 2. So we headed to take the gondola. Now you need taxis there everywhere. Wherever you travel in Kashmir, basically you need to hire a taxi. So we went there and we couldn't believe the queue that was there for the gondola ride, given COVID. But then we were there, so were so many people. The queue was really long, and so the gondola ride is beautiful. Again, I would say it's worth it. Even if people say it's commercial and all that, it's just still beautiful. So we went to phase 1 and we realized there were too many people at phase 1, which is at a slightly lesser height, and then we took the gondola to phase 2 where hardly anybody was going, and you can't believe what you'll see there, and you get to see Nanga Parbat right from where you are, where gondola phase 2 starts, and it's an experience for sure. You can spend about half an hour to 45 minutes there, but beyond that it gets too cold. Of course, in summers, if you're planning to go, you can spend much more time and probably even do a picnic. So we spent some time there. We went back to phase 1, and then we spent some 45 minutes in phase 1. We had our meal there. Now phase 2 doesn't offer you any food, but in phase 1 you have plenty of options to eat, and that's what we did. So we spent time eating, we spent some time looking around. We did not go for any snowboarding or skiing because we just had that day in Gulmarg, and we didn't want to start something which we will not be able to enjoy fully. So we did not take up any of the winter sports, but there are plenty available. There is snowing, there's skiing, there is snowboarding, and there is cycling that's available. So there's lots to do. You can actually spend 3-4 days in Gulmarg if you want to, if you're interested in winter sports. Of course, they come at a cost which I don't know about because we didn't do it. So post the phase 1, we headed back to Gulmarg, and we did not have a place to stay because the rooms that we got were for one night. We met somebody there, and they have something called Raja Huts, and we somehow managed to get one room there, and 4 of us just snuggled in there and spent the evening there. We even went out for a late night drive at around 11 o'clock and had Maggie. That was fun, but the night wasn't very comfortable because we did not have a heater, we did not have very thick blankets, and it was really cold. So the learning from Gulmarg is make your bookings in advance, find out if there's going to be electricity in the place or not, does the place have heated blankets, or if the room is heated or not. So these are things you have to keep in mind if you are going to Gulmarg in winters. Day 5 in Kashmir. So while we were taken aback by what we saw in Gulmarg, a beautiful sunset, and I forgot to mention that we even visited a very beautiful church in the evening there. So we were it was really pretty, but it was a little too commercial for us, so we decided to head to Pahalgam. And we did not make the mistake of not booking a place there. We booked a place called the Brown Palace, and I would highly recommend it. Ibrahim Ji, the owner there, is really warm. He will ensure that you're very comfortable there. So from Gulmarg to Pahalgam, we took a taxi. It was about 3 hours, and on the way we stopped at this waterfall called Drang Waterfall. It's a very beautiful waterfall, but you cannot spend more than half an hour if you're going in winter. It is so cold. It doesn't get sun. It is windy. Yet it was worth stopping over for half an hour for. And then we headed to Pahalgam. We reached there around 3:30, and then we stopped over as we were entering Pahalgam for a meal in this vegetarian restaurant called Dana Pani. You can definitely go there. It's pretty decent. So by the time we reached Brown Palace, and it's located right next to this village called Laripora village, and opposite the river. So it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And the moment we reached there, we quickly had our kava and left for the walk in the village. And that was the best part about Pahalgam. The villagers are so sweet. They would come and talk to you. They would come and offer tea to you in their house, and they are so friendly. The experience is very beautiful to walk through the village. We even went to this golf course, which was again very beautiful. You will see in the video on the side. I can't describe Pahalgam. If among all the places that I've been in Kashmir, Pahalgam is number 1. Of course, I would be hoping to go to Gurez Valley in summers, but yeah, Pahalgam has a vibe which is too good. So we spent time in the village, we went to the golf course, and by then it got a bit dark. We came back to the Brown Palace, and we had a beautiful, simple meal there while we sat by the fireplace and just spent some time there. Day 6 in Kashmir. So the idea was to spend the entire day in Pahalgam. We took a taxi in the morning, which the Brown Palace arranged for us. And so first we went to Petal Valley. It's a beautiful valley. I believe a lot of movies have been shot there. So we spent quite a bit of time there because we got all excited. You can rent boots there, you can rent even a jacket there, just outside the valley. After that we went to this place called Chandanwadi. Again, a very beautiful place. You can do a sleigh ride there, which I did. It was super fun. And the river flowing in between, both sides are snow-capped mountains. It is beautiful. So we spent about an hour and a half there. It was really nice. Locals come and talk to you. It's very sweet. From that we went to Aru Valley. Now all the places when you visit, the view while you're going is beautiful. So it's just worth every little bit of your time. Now Aru Valley is very pretty. It's huge. You have horses to take you up in case you don't have time. Like we didn't have much time, so we could not hike up. It was getting dark. But if you go well in time, then you can actually hike up, and that is going to be even more beautiful than taking a horse. So we spent a lot of time in Aru Valley. The moment we were done at Aru Valley, the locals offered us some, there was a fireplace, and they offered us to sit there because it was really cold. It was some -3 or -4 degrees. And by the time we were done with Aru Valley, it was I think about 6 o'clock in the evening. I found out the entire details about the trek which starts from Aru Valley. It's called Tasher Masher and Kaluhui, if I'm not mistaken. And I think I'm going to take my son there in August or maybe July, because if Aru Valley is that beautiful, how beautiful the trek is going to be. So yeah, and then after that we came back to the hotel. We had a nice meal, and then we went out for a drive in the evening, which is about I think around 10:30, just to see Petal Valley from the top. Ibrahim Ji, the owner of Brown Palace, took us there, and it was quite beautiful, an experience in itself. to see the valley at that time of the night. Yeah, and that was it. We wrapped up the day after being at the valley at night. Day 7 in Kashmir. Now we woke up around 7:38, and the first thing we see was that there was fresh snowfall. That's how we woke up. We all got too excited. Nobody wanted to have breakfast. Nobody wanted to have tea. We just quickly dressed up and left to see and experience the magic of a fresh snowfall. I walked through the entire village. There were kids playing.
हेलो आप स्कूल जा रहे हो कौन सी क्लास में हो वाह अयो ओ नो चोट तो नहीं लगा आपका नाम क्या है
मेरा नाम आरू है।
आपका
अर्सना
आपका
हरदीप
आपका बाय बाय
There were people, going about as usual with their business of opening shops. Somebody was washing clothes despite the snowfall, and people were offering us kangri to keep us warm. Somebody was offering us to have chai. I actually went to a local's house and had a cup of kava because she was so sweet and offered to have me in. Definitely an experience. I don't know how many times I've used the word experience, but I don't know how else to describe my trip, because every little thing that we did there was an experience in itself. So we spent a couple of hours in the snowfall despite the cold. We just wore our gloves, our jackets, and we were out, and it was surreal. So after that, we wrapped up about 12 o'clock. We had a quick breakfast because that's the day we were leaving Pahalgam. And out of the 4 of us, 3 of us did not want to leave Pahalgam because it was so beautiful. But another friend, Harshit, he's like, no, we have to go to Herbal Waterfalls. And I'm like, aisa kya hai waterfall mein? But he's like, no, we have to go there. So we're like, okay, let's go. So we packed up and we left for Srinagar, and on the way we stopped at Herbal Waterfalls. Now it is about 2.5 hours from Pahalgam, and trust me, when we reached at the waterfall, it felt like, you see the pictures of Iceland, that's how it felt. It is beautiful. It is like nature's glory. I don't know how to explain it. I'm just again putting a video to show how beautiful it was. So apparently not too many tourists go there. It's not very well known. It's very underrated. In case you get time, do go to Herbal Waterfalls. After the Herbal Waterfalls, we headed to Srinagar because I had a flight to catch the next day. So it took another 2.5 hours to reach Srinagar. In Srinagar, we had booked this place called Grand Mamta Hotel. It is in the downtown, and again it was very comfortable as Rose Petal. We had centrally heated place, so very nice, and we were too tired, so we just had our meals there and we kind of called it a day. Things to keep in mind when you're in Kashmir. Now, like I had mentioned that in Srinagar, right now the COVID rapid test is a mandatory thing. It doesn't take too much time. Secondly, during this season, I didn't see any shared taxis available or no public transport. So you need to hire taxis to go from one place to another place, which can get a little expensive. So keep your budget aside. Also, within the city itself, you would need to hire a taxi. So yeah, that's the mode of transport, unless until of course you just like to walk around. Even then, how much can you hike unless until you have a very, very long itinerary available with you. Third, be prepared with clothes, because you're not going to be able to shop much apart from your basic Pherans and all in Srinagar. Of course, you can buy your hats and stuff, but that's only Srinagar. I would say best bet, Marks and Spencer or Uniqlo. Buy thermals, at least 2 to 3 of them. Leggings, at least 2 to 3 of them. Sturdy boots, because if you're going in the snow, you can slip and fall. I did despite having a good pair of shoes. So yeah, you would need that. Gloves for sure. You have to keep the gloves. You need to keep a beanie or a hat which will keep you warm. Muffler, a good sweater, a good sweater which is really warm. Absolute must, and a good down jacket. Apart from this, do not be afraid to talk to locals. The locals there are beautiful, they are very sweet, they are very warm, they are very welcoming. Like I said, we went for a meal to somebody's house, we went for kava at somebody's house, and that's what our trip was made of. It was so beautiful because we interacted a lot with the locals and spoke so much, and they're just lovely. So I'll be giving a lot of details in the caption below. So I will share the number of the person who took us on the Shikara, because we used the same Shikara 3 times. I will share the number of the Rose Petal Hotel. I will share the number of Ibrahim Ji, who was managing Brown Palace. So yeah, I'll be giving out all the details there. However, if I have missed out on anything, please let me know in the comments, and I would be happy to answer all your questions, and I would absolutely dil se wish that you visit Kashmir.
And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. Bye.